sports.
We are sports. We are Sports Zone.
While today's trade deadline has all of Major League Baseball buzzing, tonight we have in store an all-star pitching matchup made for Hollywood. Atlanta's ace Julio Teheran steps to the hill, aimed at helping Atlanta avoid a 3-game sweep at the hands of the hot-hitting Dodgers and their ace, two-time National League Cy Young Award winner Clayton Kershaw. It's a throwdown in Tinseltown. It's Game 3. The Braves and Dodgers start now. What an amazing day to be a Major League Baseball fan as the Braves and Dodgers meet for the final time tonight in Los Angeles here at Dodger Stadium. All year long, Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. The old saying in baseball, you can't tell the players without a scorecard. That is the story. A lot of great trades, but that's not the big story. A great pitching matchup on tap tonight in this series wrap-up in Los Angeles. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip back with you at Dodger Stadium. Braves made a big trade with the Chicago Cubs. Joe will talk about that in a few minutes. But again, you've got Julio Teheran and Clayton Kershaw, arguably the best pitcher on the planet, hooking up in the series matchup.
When we saw that this was going to be the matchup in the last game of this series a week ago, everybody was excited about getting here to see it. Now then, the Braves have already lost the first 2 games of the series. It becomes doubly important to try to beat what is arguably the best pitcher on the planet right now in Clayton Kershaw. He's been outstanding. The one guy that perhaps can do it for the Atlanta Braves is their ace, Julio Teheran. He's coming off a good game against the San Diego Padres, and his last 2 have been very good because he's been very aggressive, as you're seeing here, with his fastball. He's also been good for the ball club after a loss. In 10 starts following a loss, the team is 8-2 in those starts because he's given them a chance to win.
10 starts, though, for Clayton Kershaw has been a magic number. He's undefeated. He's 9-0 in that stretch for the Dodgers.
He's leading just about every pitching category in the National League. He has been outstanding and has a no-hitter to his credit already this year against the Colorado Rockies. He, over the last 10 starts, he's won 9 of them. One no decision in there. Leads in ERA, whip, and strikeouts per 9 innings. There are the numbers over those 10 starts. He has been awfully tough. Good fastball, outstanding curve, and a slider.
But guess what? Clayton Kershaw's never beaten the Braves. Nope, he hasn't lost to him either. So we'll see what gives tonight. Busy day on the waiver wire and the transaction wire. The Braves made a deadline deal, and Tom Hart will break that down for you from Los Angeles right after this.
bullpen for the first time since Game 3 of the NLDS, looking for a bounce-back performance tonight. Hope you had fun today watching the trade deadline go on throughout Major League Baseball. Oakland and Detroit got in an arms race. The defending NL champs from St. Louis strengthened their rotation. And the Yankees, well, they went bonkers in the Bronx. But as far as the Braves are concerned, they set out to find a left-hander out of the bullpen and a guy to help off the bench, and they got exactly what they were looking for. James Russell and Emilio Bonifacio come over for the Cubs for a minor league catcher. Russell has been fantastic against right-handers this season. His numbers against lefties are up, but the Braves think they can tinker with that once he shows up in San Diego tomorrow. And Bonifacio has been an everyday player for the Cubs at a variety of positions: center field, second, even third base and short. Frank Wren says he loves the versatility of Bonifacio and giving Freddie Gonzalez an option to move some pieces around. What he also likes? Sending a message to the clubhouse. That message was well received today by guys who know that Wren went out to better this club and did that by acquiring 2 guys for very little cost.
As an organization, they had a couple places they thought we needed upgrades and some help, so they went out and got that. That's it's always good to try to fill some holes that you think you need, and as a club, hopefully it makes us better.
It's nice to be a player when the organization decides that, hey, let's try to make this team better. So that's nice for us.
Frank Wren and company were working on a lot of different fronts to get that one done. And we'll see 2 different fantastic starting pitchers go head-to-head today. It's a series finale as the Braves try to avoid the sweep. Kershaw against Tyrod coming up next.
As the Braves and Dodgers wrap up this 3-game series, Atlanta trying to avoid a 3-game series sweep, and they have their hands full tonight. Here's how Freddie Gonzalez lines them up. His starting 9 brought to you by Toyota. B.J. Upton leads off. LaStella Freeman second and third. Justin Upton, the cleanup man, having a big month of July for the Braves. Still no Jason Hayward. It's hoped he'll be able to play tomorrow when we get down to San Diego. And an off night for Chris Johnson. Chris kills left-handed pitching, but Clayton Kershaw's no ordinary lefty. So Phil Gosselin gets the start, and the Braves will try to snap an unbelievable winning streak for the Dodger lefty.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Chris isn't in there, but for whatever reasons, this guy has been awesome against lefties or righties. Last 7 starts. How about this? 7 walks, 70 strikeouts over his last 7 starts, only 25 hits in 57 innings. That's when he started. That's when he pitched the no-hitter and started that stretch of consecutive shutout innings pitched. Clayton Kershaw 26 years old, 6'3", 225 out of Dallas. His 4 keys to pitching success: command. He doesn't walk anybody. 15 walks in 112 innings this year. He has one of the best breaking balls in baseball. He's got an excellent curve, but also a slider to complement that. His fastball ranges from 89 to 95, depending on 2-seamer or 4-seamer. This is going to be fun to watch as he and Tehran hook up.
Fun unless you're a hitter.
Yeah, but a good challenge. So get after him early.
And B.J. Upton's the man in the leadoff position for the Braves. Let's see if Upton can make some contact. Strikeout bug has been in play for him. He's punched out in 7 of his last 8 at-bats. And already quickly 0-2.
You have a guy for the Dodgers who has 4 complete games and 2 shutouts. For the Braves, 2 complete games and 2 shutouts. Each guy can dominate a ball game depending on their stuff. Kershaw always looks like the coat hanger is still in his jersey.
Lollipop just missed. Mike DeMuro thought it was up and away, I guess.
Might have caught a break there.
And BJ fought that pitch off to stay alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And if it wasn't enough, Kershaw is coming off another brilliant performance. He's the guy that wrapped up that series in San Francisco, shut him out 3-0, 9 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Took him 113 pitches to take care of the Giants.
Dodgers swept San Francisco. They've won 5 in a row. That's a season high for the Dodger club. And Upton, a comebacker. Kershaw will field and flip to first, and we're underway in Los Angeles. Good battle, but Upton's retired. 1 down in the first.
I was talking to some Braves hitters before the ball game about Kershaw. What sets him apart? What makes him difficult? Is the pitches? And to a man, almost everybody said just that little hitch in his delivery can really throw off your timing. You can kind of all of a sudden be paying attention to that and not trying to pick the ball up out of his hand. And it is very different.
It's almost like there are 2 of them.
Yeah, he doesn't. Once he kicks his leg in the air, he doesn't touch the ground again straight down, but it looks like it. It comes within a couple of inches of the dirt, and then he strides.
He straightens his leg out and then pushes off the back foot toward the plate.
And that's what they said you could sometimes be mesmerized by and have your timing thrown off.
So great challenge here for Tommy La Stella, who's 4 for 8 in the series.
I mean, Alex Wood pitched last night. He's very unique with his windup. But that move right there and that drive off the mound from that spot for Clayton Kershaw, also very unique to him.
La Stella has been very impressive, as we talked about all series long. Had some big hits against the Dodgers. And what we love about Tommy, he hits lefties exceptionally well. He's got a .410 batting average against them so far this year. It'll be fun to see how he fares against Kershaw tonight. And that's fouled away to the right. He'll stay alive. Upton with a lot of foul balls in the first at bat. La Stella the same here.
Clayton Kershaw has not lost a game since May 28th, and he got beat that day by Cincinnati 3-2.
Did he go? Yes, he did. La Stella out on a check swing strike. And Kershaw's got the first 2 in order. And here's Freeman.
Target away. Down and away. Probably wasn't a strike, but too close to take. Tommy did go around.
Freddie Freeman bats and has a good cut. Fouled away. Freeman lifetime 3 for 8 against Kershaw. He has a couple of knocks in this series, including a homer.
That's the hook, and it's a beauty. PNC Bank pitch tracks. It was up, threw it right at Freddie, caused him to freeze.
And he just struck him out on 3 pitches. Clayton Kershaw up to his old tricks. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first. Julio Teheran to the hill next. Now Julio Teheran goes to the mound for the Braves. He's looking for his 11th victory of the season. And here's the Dodgers batting order. They've been slugging the baseball in this series, most notably Matt Kemp, who's batting in front of Juan Uribe, who's also hot. In fact, Kemp, Uribe, and Adrian Gonzalez, the 3 hottest hitters in the lineup for Los Angeles. And you know Julio Teheran knows all about that trio from the first 2 games.
Julio's 10-6 on the year, 2.71 ERA, but take a look at these month-by-month ERAs. They have been stair-stepping the wrong way. They've gone up, and in July, this being the last day, he can fix that a little bit tonight at 4.15. His last 2 starts, though, he's pitched well. He got a win against the Padres, a no decision against Miami. 16 strikeouts in 13 innings over that stretch and just 1 walk. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight: grip. He had a hard time in the division series here. He said he could not grip the baseball because of the cool climate. He shouldn't have that problem tonight. It's hot and it's sticky. He should have no troubles holding on to the baseball. And his road numbers, he's 6-5 on the road, but his ERA's over 4. And his last 5 road starts, 2-3 with a 5.87 ERA. Got to improve on that tonight. Can't afford to give up a bunch of runs.
And a key to that is keeping this man off the bases. That's D. Gordon, the Dodgers leadoff man, who's hitting .294 for the season. Braves pinch at the corners, and Teheran's night starts with a strike.
This is the Dodgers version of Emilio Bonifacio and what Bonifacio can bring to the table.
Leadoff hit. The Dodgers speedsters aboard to start the ball game. So great challenge here. Teheran's terrific pickoff move against a man that's got 48 steals.
Fastball, again, we talked about that in the opening comments. He's been very aggressive with his fastball the last 2 starts. Yeah, you can go ahead and break out your A move right here if you want.
Yasiel Puig's the hitter for the Dodgers. He has killed the Braves in this series too. He's 5 for 9 against Atlanta pitching, and overall 21 for 42 lifetime.
They have 4 guys in their lineup now with that hit by D. Gordon. 4 guys in their lineup tonight that have at least 4 hits already in this series in the first 2 games, plus 1 hitter.
Pitch out, nothing happening. Ball 1. Los Angeles won game 1 of the series 8-4. Matt Kemp hit a couple of 2-run homers to highlight the game. Last night the Braves were down 2-1 in the 9th. Got a game-tying homer from Justin Upton before Kemp walked off with a game-winning hit in the bottom of the 10th. Now Gordon runs, and the throw short hopped and caught by La Stella, and the tag applied. Gordon's thrown out for a second time in this series trying to steal. Gaddis retires him for the first out.
And the Dodger bench hustled over to get on the phone to see if there might be reason for a replay, and here comes Don Mattingly. His first 2 or 3 steps are very explosive. Couldn't tell where the tag was from that angle. Well, look how high he was in the air. Got tagged on the ear, it looked like. That's pretty bang bang right there. Hard to overturn that, I would think, on the call from Mike Estabrook. The Dodgers are still waiting, and no appeal.
So the call will apparently stand. Gordon's thrown out trying to steal.
Nice play by La Stella, like you said, Chip.
And Tehran can go back to the windup now with Puig up there ahead in the count 2-0.
Braves have thrown out D. Gordon twice in this series.
Three balls, no strikes. And a base on balls puts Puig at first.
This lineup has been referred to by the Braves as, for the Dodgers, as an American League type lineup, and I think the way they've swung the bat in this series, particularly Matt Kemp, has made the Braves pitchers a little, I don't want to say tentative, but certainly careful in the way they pitch some of these guys, and it's understandable.
It was rumored that teams were approaching the Dodgers about Matt Kemp. He's still a member of this Dodger club. The Dodgers were very quiet at the deadline today. And Kemp's in the lineup hitting 6th. And a ball high to first baseman Adrian Gonzalez.
That would have been a very tough sell to trade Matt Kemp right now, the way he's swinging the bat. And I say tough sell to his teammates, to the fans. He's on fire.
Looking like the Matt Kemp of a couple of years ago here in Los Angeles. 1-0 pitch. And a shot deep right field. That's going to get down in front of Domit and bounce high off the fence. Puig around third. They're going to wave him. The throw short hops to Simmons. Here's the play at the plate. Off the end of Gaddis's glove. And Puig scores from first on a Gonzalez double. And the Dodgers lead 1-0.
We've been talking about this whole series. The absence of Jason Hayward in right field has come back to remind us all how good he is in right field. This is no different. Domit made the right play off the wall, but it was a short hop throw to Anderson, which makes it harder to make the relay. And of course, Puig can fly. Ryan played it well. He just made a one-hop relay throw that made it tough on Simmons.
Braves are going to appeal at second, thinking Puig missed the bag on the way around the bases. That obviously did not happen. And Los Angeles leads 1-0 with Hanley Ramirez in the box. Quick note, what'd you think of Simmons' throw? How'd the arm look to you?
Well, I didn't notice that there was anything short on it in terms of strength. He cut it loose.
Yeah, we got a scare with Simmons last night. That diving play up the middle. He was trying to keep that shoulder joint loose in the late innings. But he says he's good to go tonight. And he nearly got Puig at the plate. Ramirez, 52 RBIs, does not yet have a hit in the series. No balls, 2 strikes. You can't afford to give the Dodgers much more than one, the way Clayton Kershaw is pitching. Gaddis to the mound for a quick conference to make sure he and Julio are on the same page.
Braves have done a great job on Ramirez. He came into this series hitting .340 over his last 15 games, and as you said, he's hitless.
No balls, 2 strikes for Hanley Ramirez. One ball, 2 strikes. And now Ramirez wants time.
It's only the first inning, but you can't get careless. There's already one across. You're facing Clayton Kershaw. You got to make sure that it's only one this inning if you can help it.
Strike 3 called inside corner. Ramirez was backing away from that pitch. And Tehran's first strikeout brings Carl Crawford to the plate.
Well, he made him look bad on a breaking ball earlier, and that was a great purpose pitch away because he was bound and determined to make sure he covered that breaking ball away again, and then all of a sudden got blistered inside. Good pitch, good call.
Now Carl Crawford hits. He's knocked in a couple of runs in the series and takes a ball low. The very crowded outfield situation that is the status of the Dodger team has not changed. Scott Van Slyke has played in this series. Andre Ethier is almost the forgotten man on the bench for Don Mattingly's club. So Crawford, Puig, and Kemp are getting most of the innings in the outfield. And now that the trading deadline has passed without waivers, the situation becomes a little more complicated if the Dodgers want to move one of those extra outfielders for a little more help. In fact, that's how they got Carl Crawford from Boston a couple of years ago in late August. A swing and a miss has him behind 1-2.
I'll say this, they've got the biggest outfield going. This guy's 6'2", 215. Puig is 6'3", 245. Matt Kemp is 6'4" and about 245. Those are big guys.
Are you sure that they're not the Rams? 1-2. Swing and a miss. Change up by Tehran ends the inning. He's got back-to-back strikeouts. But the Dodgers strike first. Adrian Gonzalez has his 71st RBI and a 1-run lead for Kershaw. Here's your Delta Airlines on-deck trio for the Braves in the second. Brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Here in the second inning, Justin Upton, Evan Gattis, and Ryan Domit are coming up. It's been a hot month of July for the Braves left fielder Justin Upton. Let's see what he can do against Clayton Kershaw. In fact, Upton is our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
Tearing it up. 2 homers, 12 RBIs to go with a 340 plus batting average and 9 doubles over those 20 games. And what a big shot he hit into their bullpen last night to tie the game. I know it was late. A lot of you folks had already gone to bed, but it was a rocket off of Kenley Jansen.
I mean, that was to the back of the bullpen in left field.
Yeah.
You don't see many hit here like that. So he's one shy of 20 home runs this season. And a good series for Upton. 4 hits and 8 tries. And a strike from Kershaw. 0-1. Check swing. That'll bounce foul at first. And that home run last night. Our SunTrust shining moment.
Hanging slider. And a no-doubter. Even Crawford didn't even take but maybe one step to take a look at that one.
Broken bat pop. And that's going to be caught by D. Gordon, who misjudged the pop-up and then had to do the do-si-do around the second base umpire, Mike Estabrook.
And then he slipped. His tap shoes slipped on the dance floor out there. He was very lucky. Whoa. Had it all the way.
1 out for Evan Gattis. Like Kershaw, Evan Gattis was born in Dallas, Texas. I remember reading somewhere that he and Kershaw were on a lot of the same travel all-star teams as young players.
Is that right?
That'd be quite a battery, huh?
Well, he and Matthew Stafford, Kershaw and Stafford went to the same high school and teammates in all sports.
That beautiful curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He doesn't throw many straight changes. It's just a rare occurrence where he might just throw a straight change. He uses this big hook as his off-speed pitch primarily.
To the right side, Gordon to his left, and Gattis is retired. 2 out. And now Ryan Domit's the batter. Again, told you, still no Jason Hayward. He's not played at all in this series. Freddie Gonzalez talking with the media in his pregame scrum said it's hopeful that Jason can play at least 2 of the 3 games in San Diego. That's where we head after tonight's ball game. So Domit started a couple of games out there. Jordan Schaefer the other. And Domit, a switch hitter, gets the start, batting right-handed against Kershaw tonight.
And he's had good luck against him in the past. 3 for 6.
It's 1-2.
Kershaw's only made 16 starts. He's won 12 of them. He missed some time, quite a bit of time, after they opened the season in Australia. He had a strain in his back. That was more around the shoulder blade, but they took extra precautions making sure he was okay before they brought him back from the DL.
So despite missing about 8 starts for the Dodgers, Kershaw leads the league in ERA. He's got the best winning percentage, second best opponent's batting average against. Fewest walks per 9. And oh, by the way, a 12-2 record. He just carved up Ryan Doumit. Kershaw with 3 strikeouts. He's set down 6 straight to start his night, and he leads by a run early.
Los Angeles and Atlanta before the Braves head down to San Diego. Scary moment for Andrelton Simmons and the Braves in the 8th inning last night. On a Juan Uribe ground ball, Simmons went up the middle to try and make a play to disallow the go-ahead run to score. He told me today that his injury didn't occur on the dive, as we initially thought, with his right arm fully extended, but rather on the throw home. Now, Freddie Gonzalez told me today he wouldn't be playing Andrelton Simmons if he were injured or if the training staff would say that he wasn't able to go. Andrelton says he's fine. It's just part of nicks and bruises that you get at this point in the system. But guys, at this point of the season, I should say, but even watching him early in this game between innings, there's still obvious discomfort for Andrelton Simmons with that right shoulder.
I think you're right, Tom. I think he's a little uncomfortable, and of course, in the very first inning, it gets tested, and you've got to make a strong relay throw.
So we'll keep an eye on that as our game proceeds. We enter the home second with Kemp, Uribe, and Ellis coming up. Is there a hotter hitter on the planet than this guy?
Nope.
Kemp has been rejuvenated after the break. 17 for his last 39. That's a .436 batting average. Three homers, 6 RBIs, and 6 hits in the first 2 games of this series. Kemp's put in a lot of work with hitting coach Mark McGuire and assistant John Valentin, and that work's paying off with a hot month. Two balls and a strike.
Did that say 3 home runs in July? How many's he hit in this series?
3. So we caught this guy at a bad time. Pitch rifled over the screen, foul, and out of play. Very poor fielding crowd here in Los Angeles.
It's really hard to field the ball in the stands when you got a handful of sushi.
Full count pitch. And Kemp draws a walk. Second walk for Tehran of the game. That didn't miss by much.
Third baseman, Juan Uribe.
PNC Bank pitch track shows it was just a little off the plate, but in a good spot. Pretty good take by Kemp to not swing.
So here's Uribe. He too hot at the plate. 4 for 8 in the series. And a 4-game hitting streak working for the Dodger third baseman. Right back to the screen, foul, strike one. The Phillies are helping the Braves out tonight. They're clobbering Washington 10-4. That game's in the ninth inning. The Reds beat the Marlins 4-3, and now that Philly game just went final.
Washington made a move today. They picked up Asdrubal Cabrera from the Indians. Help out on their infield.
That's because Ryan Zimmerman's out with a grade 3 hamstring strain. That's a bad one. So Rendon will play third, Cabrera second. Desmond will play short for Washington, which is in front of the Braves by a game now, pending the outcome of our game tonight. High fly toward right. That's playable for Domet. And Ryan's got it for the first out. Can't remember a more exciting trade deadline day than July 31st, 2014.
What I don't remember, Chip, are how many big-time guys were moved. I mean, front line ace-type pitchers moving. That is just amazing. And then for the Red Sox to get the cleanup hitter back from the A's, that doesn't happen very often either.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, these were major league players from major league players. There weren't a whole lot of John Lesters for 3 AA and AAA prospects.
No, I loved it. I loved that aspect of it.
This is A.J. Ellis, the Dodger catcher. The Red Sox have traded away 4/5 of their starting rotation.
How about that?
And Andrew Miller, a guy that the Braves were apparently interested in. He went to Baltimore. But John Lester, now a member of the Oakland Athletics, who loaded up, and a huge counter move in Motown.
Yeah.
David Price from Tampa Bay, now pitching for the Tigers with Verlander and Scherzer and Porcello in that rotation.
And Anibal Sanchez.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Unbelievable baseball trade deadline. Ellis didn't get it. 1-2.
Back to the Red Sox. Defending world champs, right?
Yep.
They just blew it up, said we're going to start over and retool.
From last to first to last in successive years for the Red Sox.
And they've had horrible production from their outfield, and they got Alan Craig from the Cardinals, who I think is a very good hitter who's having a down year, and Cespedes.
And that's because the Red Sox sent John Lackey to the Cardinals. And an interesting thing about that deal, John Lackey is coming off Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago. He had a clause in his contract that had an arm injury clause. If at any time in that contract he missed significant time with an arm or elbow problem, the final year of his contract would pay him $500,000. And that's what the Cardinals can pay Lackey next year. Popped up. Again to right field. Domet will gallop in a step or two, and he's got it. And Ellis is retired for out number 2. So the Boston Red Sox totally changed the landscape of Major League Baseball. This was Boston's day alone on the trade front.
Johnny Gomes also went to the A's in that deal. They got Cespedes and a competitive balance pick in return. They got Craig and Joe Kelly, starting pitcher from the Cardinals. Kelly will be inserted right into the rotation since they need some starters right now. And Kelly Johnson, the former Brave, goes to Red Sox in that deal for Stephen Drew.
Can you imagine Cespedes playing 81 games at Fenway Park?
That's what they're hoping for.
Right?
Yeah.
So here's Clayton Kershaw, staked to a 1-0 lead. He's got Kemp at first with 2 outs. Kershaw, a 194 hitter for the season. And he was a little late from Julio Teheran. We've talked about Teheran a lot. If you don't get him the first 30 pitches or so, you might not get him. Unfortunately, the Dodgers scored a first-inning run tonight.
And no apparent signs of any grip issues that we talked about with respect to his Ford Keys tonight. He only lasted 2 2/3 innings here against the Dodgers in the division series.
Breaking ball caught Kershaw looking. A taste of his own medicine. Teheran has 3 strikeouts. Kershaw has 3 strikeouts, but the Dodger lefty leads 1-0 after 2.
Braves that went all the trades that went down in Major League Baseball today. How about the National League East and how Braves opponents were affected? Well, there was a couple of moves made. Joe mentioned that the Nationals acquired Asdrubal Cabrera to play short. This is our Home Depot tools from the dugout. The Marlins got another hard-throwing pitcher. Jared Cozart came over from the Astros. The Mets really didn't do anything. They were kind of flirting with moving Bartolo Colon. And the Phillies did nothing with all of their contracts, all of their veterans. Ruben Amaro Jr. had an odd comment this afternoon before their game, especially when you consider all the activity that other teams made. He felt that other GMs, quote, weren't aggressive enough in trying to find some of the Phillies pieces that they've been looking to unload. So good news for the Braves that the Phillies stood pat. The Marlins got themselves better not only for this year but years to come. And the Nationals offense just a little bit better across the board.
And I think defensively it helped the Nationals quite a bit too, Tom. Cabrera can catch the ball. And I love what the Marlins did. I mean, Cozart, we saw Cozart and
gave up 1 run in 7 innings against the Braves down in Houston.
He's good.
We're an umpire down. Jerry Lane's off the field of play. So field umpires at first and third. Estabrook and Hunter Wendelstedt with Mike Namiro behind the plate. That trio met right by the Dodgers on deck circle before the start of this half inning.
And that's not good. I hope Jerry's okay.
Let's finish up one more thought on the Phillies too. They can still make deals after the July 31st deadline, but their big trade chip, Cliff Lee, left the game. Elbow problems. He called the trainer out, said he couldn't continue.
It's been said that in terms of the guys with the big contracts, like the Phillies have so many of, they actually, there's more likelihood of them moving on the waiver trading period between now and the end of August. We'll see if that happens.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And downstairs for Andrelton, it's now 2-2. Yeah, that Philly situation's a place that no team wants to be in. Older, highly paid players in a club that's going nowhere. In fact, one of their columnists had a great headline: the Phillies remain handcuffed to their past.
Yeah.
Simmons down the right field line. He sliced it foul. And he'll head back to the plate with another 2-2 pitch.
And when the Braves were winning 14 straight division titles and contracts would come up, especially with the pitching, the core was kept. The big three guys were kept. And I think the thing that benefited the Braves there, as long as they stayed Atlanta Braves, was that they stayed healthy. Those guys were still very productive at the end of their contracts.
Yeah, that's maybe the most unappreciated part of the big three. They seldom missed a start, if ever. As Simmons didn't get it, he's strikeout victim number 4 for Kershaw. It's 7 up, 7 down.
He's been toying with a cutter.
Third baseman, number 15.
That was a slider. At first I thought it might be a cutter that he's begun to throw a little bit more of, but that was an out pitch. Good slider.
That should be illegal. As good as his stuff is already, he can't add another pitch. So Phil Gosselin stands in. He gets a start instead of Chris Johnson. Freddie Gonzalez told Tom before the game it was a night off for Chris. But somewhat surprising in that Johnson's one of the best hitters in the National League against left-handed pitching, even pitchers as talented as Clayton Kershaw.
Right.
One ball, one strike. Gosselin was hitting .344 at AAA with 130 hits. And he's got one against Clayton Kershaw. That's the first hit of the game for the Braves. Gosselin takes one the other way, and he's aboard in front of Tehran.
We've seen Phil try to do this in other at-bats, just stay inside the baseball, hit it up the middle, hit it the other way. Didn't get all of that one, but enough for a base knock.
Would that be bad form to ask for the baseball?
Well, yeah, you could probably, the Dodgers wouldn't know that it wasn't your first hit, but you could always fake it too. You always just go grab a ball and say, you go put this in my locker and write something on it.
Man, I would. You get a hit off this guy, that's amazing. Kershaw has allowed just 77 hits in 114 innings, including Gosselin's with one out here in the third. Julio can handle the bat. Let's see if he can help himself.
You know, he can go to right field.
He drew the bat back and bounced it out towards short. Hanley Ramirez and a scoop at first by Adrian Gonzalez. A 6-3 double play ends the Atlanta third. Gosselin has Atlanta's first hit. Top of the Dodger order coming up. Braves. Multi-platinum group Weezer will perform in the Braves Summer Concert Series Tuesday, August 12th. That's presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. Stay after the game for a free concert. Limited VIP field passes are available for the show for just $20. Act fast. Visit Braves.com/concerts today. The Dodgers will be the opponents. They have a 4-game series with the Braves in Atlanta. 3 night games and then a 12-10 game on Thursday, August 14th. So Teheran back to work for the Dodgers, top of the order in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He's part of our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
Since the beginning of last season, Clayton Kershaw still has a sub-2 ERA. Adam Wainwright right there second. It's a Greinke, of course, who looked so good last night in 3rd place. And Julio Teheran 6th in that group. The Braves are probably going to see Tyson Ross in that series in San Diego too. Man, what a trip versus tough pitching.
Well, we've talked about it for about a month now. Late July and August, a real hornet's nest for the Braves to have to get through. As Gordon skies one foul and out of play. Padres, Dodgers twice, Seattle, Oakland with John Lester now. Haven't seen the Pirates yet. We got to go to Cincinnati for 4, and then we've got the Mets and Marlins before we get to September. One ball, one strike for D. Gordon, who singled and was thrown out trying to steal for the 2nd time in the series. It's only the 3rd time that's happened in D. Gordon's major league career. It happened to him in September of 2012. Yadier Molina got him. And it happened this May at Miami when Saltalamacchia nailed him twice. Let's check the arm of Simmons. Good throw. And no issue on the recoil. Gordon rolls out, 1 away.
Center fielder, Yasiel Puig.
Here's Yasiel Puig, a tough Dodger hitter. And Tom, tough Braves opposing pitchers coming up all month long, huh?
Clubhouse is well aware of that, Chip. There's some gallows humor in there today. They get, we get who tonight? Kershaw. Then we get the Padres. And then we get to see these guys again, this entire rotation, and mix in King Felix. It was almost a conversation of disbelief among these Braves hitters. Their bad luck in the rotations that they'll draw over the next couple of weeks.
But you know what? Those are the kinds of guys you're going to face in the playoffs. If you want to make them, got to beat them.
Hey, you know, the guys that ride bulls and rodeos, they get bad draws once in a while too, but they get better scores when they ride those things. You ride the tough bulls, you get a good score. You beat these guys, you beat the good pitchers when people are saying you shouldn't win. That's what I do. I used to beat my arms with my bat. It always made me feel better. But yeah, beat the good guys. Gives you some confidence next time you see them.
And as far as regular season play is going, as talented as Clayton Kershaw is, he's never beaten the Braves in regular season play.
Do you remember that game Kershaw pitched against the Braves at Turner Field a couple of years ago where he had them shut out, pitched a brilliant game for 8 innings?
Yep.
But he was pitch limit was
120 something.
Yeah, he got a little greedy, went out there for the 9th, and the Braves waylaid. He got a no decision, obviously, but the Braves won the game.
The Braves, the only National League team that Kershaw's never beaten in the regular season. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Yasiel Puig. And out of play. It's still 1-2. Puig's not just beating up on the Braves, he's killing the entire National League East. And that ball's launched deep toward left. Upton will turn and watch that one go. A line drive homer.
Proverbial hanging slider. The ball just sounds different off his bat. It jumps different off his bat. We were talking about the heat and humidity that's unusual for at least our trips out here to Los Angeles, unusual for Dodger Stadium, and the ball's been jumping, but something also tells me it's not just jumping, but the Braves or the Dodgers hitters are hopping. They are on fire.
So with that hit, Puig sits safely now in 19 of his last 20 games against the National League East. And he's 22 for his last 43 against the Braves. Yikes. 2-0 Dodgers on Puig's 13th homer. Adrian Gonzalez has the other Dodger RBI, a double. He's behind 1 and 2.
That home run allowed by Julio is the 5th he's given up this month. We showed you those progressive numbers month by month on ERA. He only gave up 2 homers in June.
And he's facing Adrian Gonzalez, who begins his 3rd season with the Dodgers. He led their club in hits, homers, RBIs, and games played last year. Lifetime .294 hitter. Adrian played a long time with San Diego. Started with the Marlins organization, then went to Texas. And that just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
PNC Bank pitch tracks. Should have gotten that one. Been a couple that have been just out of the zone, but that was there.
When Gonzalez was a kid in the Marlins system, they had a guy by the name of Derek Lee playing first base. The Marlins needed a closer. They went and got Ugeth Urbina from Texas in 2003, and the rest, they say, in South Florida's history. Did he go? Yes, he did. Gaddis smothered that and applied the tag quickly, and Gonzalez is down on strikes. Julio's 4th of the game.
That had some bite on it.
Next shortstop, number 13, Hanley Ramirez.
Good back foot breaking ball. Couldn't stop his swing.
Hanley Ramirez is 0 for 9 in the series. Strike 1. Hanley will be 31 years old December 23rd. A man that Freddie Gonzalez knows very well. He was a skipper when they were together with the then Florida Marlins. Ramirez, you might recall, came up as a Boston Red Sox.
Freddie had Bonifacio with the Marlins also when they were the Florida Marlins.
Ramirez went to the Red Sox with Harvey Garcia, Anibal Sanchez, and Jesus Delgado for Josh Beckett, Mike Lowell, and Guillermo Mota. Then Nathan Eovaldi and Scott McGough went from Los Angeles to the Marlins for Ramirez July 25th, 2 years ago. It was Hanley Ramirez, Joe, I guess, who was the first shot across the bow in that Marlins house cleaning.
And that had been rumored for quite some time.
And Ramirez didn't get a high fastball. Teheran surrenders a home run to Yasiel Puig, his 13th of the season. We are through 3 in Los Angeles. Clayton Kershaw now leads by a 2-run score. As Clayton continues to warm up, let's check out tonight's AT&T U-verse trivia question. Over the last 6 seasons, Clayton Kershaw is one of 2 lefties with 80 or more wins and 1,100 or more strikeouts. Who's the other?
That be both leagues?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, 2 guys that might have been traded. How about David Price? How about John Lester? How about CC Sabathia?
When in doubt, always go to Mark Burley.
That's right. We got to keep Burley and Sean Green in the back
Yes.
pocket every time we have a Dodger-related question like that. Burley's a great answer. As B.J. Upton goes to work in the Atlanta 4th and takes a little high, ball 1. Cut on and missed. Even count. We'll see the Padres tomorrow. The Cardinals beat them today, a 6-2 final. Padres also made another deal. They sent Chris Denorfia to the Mariners for a couple of minor league players. And B.J. Upton shoots one into center field. That's the second Braves hit of the game and will bring the potential tying run to the plate.
Second baseman, number 7.
It's like something down and in and a nice inside out swing. That looked like more like the cutter, not so much the tilt of a slider. And a nice job by BJ to fight that off. Good start to the inning.
Tommy was retired on a check swing strikeout in the opening inning. Slashed foul out of play to the left. Strike 1 to the Braves second baseman. And Tommy might have broken his bat with that swing.
Threw that cutter to the lefties in the first inning too.
In case you missed the news or are just joining us, Braves did make a deadline deal with the Cubs. Russell and Bonifacio will come from Chicago. Victor Caratini, a Class A catcher and a second-round pick by the Braves, will be headed to Chicago. Braves liked Caratini a lot, Joe, but look at the depth at that position at the big league level. I think playing time the next couple of years will be tough for him.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a pretty good hitting prospect. Play a little third base too.
BJ's running. Ellis's throw is going to be an eyelash late, and then Upton overslid the bag and is tagged out. Andy Ramirez kept the tag on BJ Upton, and Hunter Wendelstedt rang him up after initially calling him safe, and now Freddie Gonzalez is going to come out for an explanation.
He did pop up, as we've seen BJ do before, real high on the bag, but seemed to keep his foot on the base. Hunter Wendelstedt is right there. Oh, he's out. He's out. You could definitely see the gap between his spikes and the bag, and they kept the tag on him.
We've seen BJ 2, maybe 3 times now pop up, come off the bag, and get tagged out.
Yep.
BJ will go down and look at the video of that, and he'll see clearly that his foot did come off the bag. Wonder if he thought he was pushed off the bag by Ramirez. And a slow roller right side. That's tough play, Gordon. Bare hand, nice flip. Andy Gordon tumbles to his tummy after retiring LaStella.
If you want to make everybody forget about how bad you looked on a pop-up earlier, make a play like this. This is a big league play by a second baseman, having to throw while in the air to get LaStella. That would have worked beautifully with BJ Upton at second base. Had he been able to keep his foot on the bag, he could have moved to third.
So after Upton singled, he was caught stealing 2-6. He had the play beaten, but came off the bag. And then LaStella robbed by Gordon for the second out. Now Freeman, an even count.
And Jay Ellis will try to limp that off. Watch the foot. Right there, came off the bag clearly. He's out.
Tom, is that what BJ and Freddie saw?
Yes, Chip, that is exactly what they saw.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. 1 ball, 1 strike for Freddie Freeman. He struck out to end the Braves' first. Tom sounds like he's got laryngitis. We'll have to check on that. Base is empty, and out of play to the left. It's 1-2. Big crowd here tonight. Dodgers draw exceptionally well. They'll fly by the 3 million mark, and as they continue to gain ground in the division, there won't be a seat to be found for this Dodger ball club. 1-2 pitch. And a line drive into left field. That'll get down in front of Crawford. So Freddie Freeman has a hit. That's 2 in the inning for the Braves. And 3 for the game. And again, the tying run's coming up.
All that transpired in the inning, that could have been a run. Kershaw very upset with himself on the location of this pitch to Freddie Freeman. He was barking into his glove. Four-seamer down the middle. That's why the target was outside, and he missed with his location.
Deep short. Ramirez with the peg to second, and that retires the side. Clayton Kershaw surrenders a couple of hits, but a caught stealing aided him. He leads by 2 in the home 4th.
CUverse, Delta Airlines, and Ford.
Beautiful night in Los Angeles in a packed house for Clayton Kershaw, who leads the Braves and Julio Teheran by a 2-0 score. Now it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SouthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. It's a homecoming of sorts for two members of our broadcast crew in Los Angeles. My partner Joe Simpson's a former Dodger. Don Sutton on the radio side, working with the voice of the Braves, Jim Powell. And they've done such a wonderful job, Joe, of bringing back the Dodger old-timers back into the fold here. There's not a night that goes by that two or three of those Dodger greats are not in this ballpark.
Yeah, tonight, for example, they had a bobblehead to commemorate the four guys who hit 30 or more homers back in 1977. The bobblehead had all four guys on there. Garvey, Baker, Reggie Smith, and Ron Say. And Smith and Say were here tonight to throw out the first pitch.
A moment ago, they showed on the big board Hideo Nomo and Peter O'Malley sitting in one of the luxury suites here at the ballpark. As a line drive to left by Carl Crawford will be caught by Justin Upton.
Had it played perfectly.
And the Braves do a great job of that too. And I bring that Dodgers scenario up because when we come home from this road trip, we have the big alumni weekend coming up when the Nationals are in town. We have the pregame introductions on Friday, the celebrity softball game on Saturday. Big series with the Nats head-to-head, the top two teams in the East. And Greg McMichael and John Schuerholz have really spearheaded that insistence, if you will, of bringing back the guys that played for Atlanta and wore the Braves uniform so proudly. As I've told you and you mentioned the other night, it's my favorite weekend of the year, seeing those guys at the park. And we hope you'll make your plans to join us when we get back from Seattle at the end of this trip.
Always a great weekend. We ran into another guy that has ties to both the Dodgers and Braves here the other night, Jerry Royster. Need to get him back to Atlanta for that weekend too.
No balls at a strike for Matt Kemp. Jerry Royster was my favorite Brave as a kid.
He's a terrific player, great all-around player, do a lot of things to beat you.
When I was a 10-year-old kid and got to be a bat boy for the Braves, I'd come see my dad during the summertime. First day as a bat boy, Jerry Royster said, "Come on, kid, let's go play catch." Never forgot it.
Always a great guy, always had a lot of fun. He was the first professional teammate I think I met when I first signed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. No balls, two strikes for Matt Kemp. Bases empty. Julio Teheran facing off with Kershaw, and Kemp chased a ball up around his chin and didn't get it. So Teheran's got 6 strikeouts tonight. He's retired the last 4 Dodger hitters.
It's a shame the Braves weren't able to get that run for him, push that run across, or take advantage of what was transpiring at the beginning of the 4th inning and make it a 1-run ball game. But he's airing it out.
Here's Juan Uribe. Uribe flied out to right, so he's 0 for 1. And he took a shot that way this time and is behind a strike. This is the final time we'll see the Dodgers here in Los Angeles. They'll come to Atlanta on August 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Teheran's got Uribe way behind, 0-2. And a slow breaking ball fooled the Dodger third baseman. Teheran's got 7 strikeouts. Hey, let's get some runs. Who better
couple
to do that than Evan Gattis? The Braves catcher leads off the 5th inning, a 2-run Dodger game. In a pitching-rich organization. And in the history of this great Dodger franchise, there are only two men who have won multiple Cy Young Awards, Sandy Koufax and Clayton Kershaw. And look how similar their last 115 career starts are to this point.
It is really impressive, and a lot of people are just making Freudian slips, calling Kershaw Koufax at times when he's on the mound too.
Gaddis, a little broken bat pop. Puig on the run, can't get there. And Atlanta's starting to pile up hits against Kershaw. That's 3 in the last inning plus. And again, they'll bring the tying run to the plate.
4 in the last 2 innings plus. Big swing from Evan, and it fooled Puig, who plays pretty deep, and misjudged it and couldn't get in quick enough.
I don't remember seeing Sandy Koufax pitch. Was he similar to Clayton Kershaw, other than the fact that both were dominant and left-handed?
He's far enough in front of me that I don't remember much either, except watching him on TV. But he threw hard, and he had a big, hard, unhittable curveball.
Ryan Domit struck out his lone time up. Kershaw's won the Cy Young 2 times in the last 3 seasons and would have to be considered one of the front runners again in 2014, despite missing a couple of months at the start of the season for the Dodgers. He's 12-2.
When he's got a runner on base, he definitely puts the stretch and stretch.
Hard to believe this man wasn't the overall #1 pick in the draft. There are a couple teams, I'm sure, that would love to have had a mulligan in the 2006 June draft. Kershaw went 7th. And that's downstairs. 3 balls and a strike. That 2006 draft featured Evan Longoria, Andrew Miller, Clayton Kershaw, Tim Lincecum, Max Scherzer, and Ian Kennedy in the first round. As another shot to center will get down in front of Puig. He's going to fire towards second, and very close but late. Gaddis is in safely. Back-to-back hits for the Braves. First time they've done that tonight.
3 of the last 4 guys have base hits off Kershaw. Another fastball in the middle of the plate. And again, Puig didn't read it correctly. Kershaw, I don't know if he does this with base stealers. He had Gaddis at first base before. He's already kind of leaning toward home plate as he's getting ready to deliver to the plate, kind of giving it away that he's not coming over. Good start to the inning.
Braves have their first man safely in at second base tonight. And they've got 2 on for Simmons and nobody out.
A couple of guys taken in front of Kershaw, though, that have turned out to be darn good players, including Evan Longoria.
He was the 3rd pick. The Pirates took Brad Lincoln 4th. Seattle took Brandon Morrow 5th.
Ow.
Tigers took Andrew Miller 6th.
Ow.
Kershaw 7th. Bouncing ball. Uribe steps on the bag 1. Throw to second. And a good hard slide by Ryan Domit. Eliminated any thought at all for the Dodgers of a triple play. They do get a double play. Gaddis forced at 3rd. Domit at 2nd. And Simmons at 1st with 2 out.
This had the makings, though. Close to the bag where he could step on it and fire to second, but Domit all over D. Gordon. Good slide.
Third baseman, number 15, Phil Gosselin.
And that'll bring up Phil Gosselin. Well, you do shake your head at Andrew Miller over Clayton Kershaw. Remember, he was traded for Miguel Cabrera, so that worked out all right. But in a draft that had Kershaw, Lincecum, and Scherzer, those three men have combined for 5 Cy Young awards, all taken in the 06 draft.
Who went first?
Lincecum 10th, Scherzer 11th.
No, who went first?
Oh, overall, Luke Hochevar from Kansas City. And Greg Reynolds, 2nd overall by Colorado. Strike one for Gosselin. He picked up the first Braves hit of the game, a 1-out single in the 3rd. He was erased on a Teheran double play.
His delivery to the plate out of the stretch, he doesn't use much of a leg kick at all. It's mostly just a stride. But he's already leaning. His feet are very close together. And as we showed you in that slow motion delivery, leaning to the plate. And I don't know how he could lean to the plate and still come to first without balking. So looks like you could get a good jump on him.
Yeah, you're right. It's almost like a tall tree that's just starting to tilt after it's been sawed off at the base. Timber. And now 0-2. Strike 3 with a hook. The Braves have back-to-back 2-hit innings, but nothing has come of those. Kershaw spinning a shutout through 5 innings. He leads 2-0, and he's due second for the Dodgers. It's time for tonight's Coors Timeless Moment, and Atlanta left-handers had some magic working in this historic ballpark in Los Angeles.
It was fun to watch. Kent Mercker, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts. Get a look at his work there on April 8th. Here's the last out of the game. Got Eric Karros and a comebacker. I was down on the field to interview him after that chip, and he didn't know we were already live. I mean, that the mics were on and everything. He goes, "Was that lucky or what?"
Really?
That's the first thing the fans heard.
Oh, that's great. And how cool is it, you know, I'm sure there's all kinds of nervous excitement when the ball's put in play for the final out of a no-hitter. Please, you know, go to somebody, don't drop it, whatever. Right back to Kent. You saw him sprint to the first baseman and flip it, and then the celebration. That was awesome. So Teheran, after allowing a first and third inning run, Settles back in now. He's set down 5 straight. He's got Ellis, Kershaw, and Gordon coming up. It's 2-0 Los Angeles. Braves trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Dodgers.
Braves have 5 hits. The Dodgers only have 3, but they have the lead.
Two of the 3 hits for LA, extra base hits. Both brought home runs. Gonzalez first inning double, and the Puig solo homer in the 3rd. Two balls and a strike. Dodgers started the season slowly. We talked about that during our opening comments in Game 1. They are coming on like gangbusters now, though. LA 14 games over 500 and a 3-game lead over the Giants. Giants are in New York tomorrow. They'll play the Mets, Vogelsong and Jonathan Neese. Right now, Joe, it's looking like the Giants are just happy to get out of town. They've played awful baseball at AT&T Park the last month and a half.
Really bad. Too bad, too, because of the way they draw, but they're now 29-30 at home.
Full count pitch for the Dodger catcher, A.J. Ellis. And a breaking ball got Ellis looking. Beautiful pitch. And that's the 8th Tehran strikeout tonight.
Man, he is dealing. He's had a good fastball. He's dropped that curveball on a couple of guys, including A.J. Ellis right here. Gave up on it. Gave up on it too soon.
Kershaw struck out in his lone at bat. And a bouncing ball off the chest of Gosselin. The ball dropped to his feet, and he makes the play. And that's out number 2. Again, we're playing with 3 umpires now. We had a standard crew at the start of the game, but after the first half inning or first inning, Jerry Lane left. We understand Jerry hurt his calf and will not return to the game tonight.
Sorry to hear that. Hope he can get some treatment, get back out there in the next turn. He'll be scheduled to work behind the plate somewhere.
So Dee Gordon, the hitter, he's 1 for 2. First inning leadoff single, and he was thrown out by Gaddis trying to steal. Good thing that happened. Puig walked and Gonzalez doubled. And LA settled for only 1 first inning run.
Professional take there, a courtesy take by Dee Gordon, letting his pitcher get back to the dugout and rest a little bit after hustling down the line.
That caught a corner. Pretty pitch. Now Gosselin can back up a bit at third base. He'll play even with the bag. Freeman back a couple of steps with 2 outs. And skied foul. 1 and 2.
Well, that first 30 pitch thing came back to haunt Julio in the first inning because he gave up the hit to Gordon. He got thrown out, but then a walk to Puig set up a double by Gonzalez that drove in the first run. And then a hanging slider that turned into a homer.
The 1-2 pitch is skied to center, and And Upton's there to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Tehran. He has set down 8 consecutive men. He'll take matters into his own hands as we head to the 6th. By a 2-0 score. They're having fun too. Hey, it's Alumni Weekend. The Braves and Nationals hook up beginning Friday, August 8th through Sunday, August the 10th. The Braves alumni roll call on the field pregame. Great opportunities for all you fans to get autographs. Get there early on Saturday for the pregame Legends versus Legends softball game. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Steve Avery, Sid Bream, Ryan Klesko, Nuxie, Javi Lopez, Brian Jordan, Mark Wohlers, and many other Braves alumni are scheduled to attend.
Have you seen how Nuxie can make that softball move? Oh,
really?
Oh, it is relatively unhittable from that slow pitch knuckleball toss.
I want to see him strike out Smoltz. That would make my year.
It'd just pop up. Same thing, but it's always pop up.
So a fun weekend on tap in Atlanta. And Tehran, B.J. Upton, and Tommy La Stella come a-calling here in the 6th. B.J. a 1-for-2 night. Bouncing ball to short. Hanley Ramirez gives ground. And the throw to first in plenty of time for out number 1.
When you've got an ace on your staff, a lot of times it has a direct translation into ticket sales. Here are some increases in ticket sales by guys in baseball right now. And Masahiro Tanaka, who came over from Japan this year, has provided a huge boost to the Yankees. And you can see Clayton Kershaw's may not be as high as some of those other guys. That's because they already have a high average attendance here. But already a big boost for Oakland when Samardzija pitches. All those things very good.
So the Tigers figure to get a big boost. They have Verlander and now David Price. Oakland got Samardzija. They have John Lester. He's supposedly going to start on Saturday for Oakland. And really those two trades could quite possibly have huge playoff ramifications because Oakland and Detroit always seem to somehow find a way to hook up in postseason play. You talk about two juggernaut pitching staffs potentially matching up. Should it come down to Oakland and Detroit for the ALCS, that is going to be must-see TV.
One trying to get a leg up on the other, and the other one countered today. But that goes back to what Tom was talking about, the good line of the gallows humor with the Braves schedule and Oakland coming up at Atlanta.
Wow, Upton is called out on strikes, and again he looks back in disbelief.
That's the first real slow over-the-top curve in a couple of innings.
Second base, number 7.
Again, it's not where he catches it, but where it went through the zone. For Mike DeMuro, strike 3.
6 Kershaw strikeouts, and Tommy La Stella the batter. B. Gordon robbed him on a marvelous play in the 4th inning. And skied over the screen foul, strike 1.
Alex Wood pitched a great ball game last night. He was taken off the hook by that homer in the 9th by Justin Upton, but he only gave up 1 run in 7 innings. And Zach Greinke was a little bit better while he was in there. Tonight, more of the same. Tehran has actually struck out more guys, but he's on the short end of it right now.
And I think the whole National League breathed a huge collective sigh of relief once Lester and Price were traded to American League clubs. There was talk that the Dodgers were in on one of those 2 guys to add to what's already a spectacularly tough rotation. And Clayton Kershaw is starting to heat up. He has struck out 7 men, including 3 of the last 4 outs. He leads by 2 with Puig coming up for LA. They go to work in the 6th inning. Puig has scored both LA runs, and his last blast are Zaxby's indescribably good play.
It was a low line drive trajectory, but you knew when it came off his bat it was going out. His 13th of the year. I'd probably a lot of it had to do with him hitting himself with the bat, you know, on the arms, biceps.
Makes yourself angry, right?
Yeah. Let's see if he does that again. That was very odd.
Puig has walked and homered. Braves have got to figure out a way to solve this guy the rest of the way tonight and for 4 games back in Atlanta. Clayton Kershaw tonight. No runs, 5 hits allowed. By his impossibly high standards, he's been good, not great. 5 hits for him. That's the most he's allowed in 5 of his last 7 starts. But he's through 6 with a 2-0 lead. I mean, think about it. Last 7 starts, number of hits allowed by Kershaw: 0, 6, 5, 2, 3, 6, and 3.
And the Braves had 5 hits through 5 innings. Sitting with his pitching coach, Rick Honeycutt.
1 ball, 1 strike. Phillies beat Washington tonight 10-4. Cincinnati beat Miami 3-1. Chance for Atlanta to gain some ground on both of those clubs in the East. They've got to come back tonight. And Puig didn't get it. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Hurt his hand. I don't know if he hurt it on the swing or if when he was about to flip the bat in the air in disgust. Fastball.
Up the middle. That ball right out to Tommy La Stella, who played perfectly, and the first time that Puig's hit a ball that didn't jump. Maybe that hand was problematic in that sequence, Tom.
And problematic left hand for Yasiel Puig. He got hit in the left hand by a changeup last week in St. Louis. They kept him out of the lineup for a couple of days. They x-rayed him in St. Louis, and they said that wasn't good enough, so they x-rayed him again the next day in Pittsburgh. Apparently the hand didn't heal quick enough. Mattingly kept him out for a couple of days.
It's Barkin.
Kind of holding his thumb.
That's an indispensable player for the Dodgers. Gonzalez base is empty. He's doubled home run. He's struck out. And that ball foul at first. Back our way and hit hard. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Adrian Gonzalez has the second most RBIs in the National League. To do that, you got to have guys getting on base in front of you. He does, and Gordon and Puig. But not only that, both guys can fly. So if they're in scoring position, you get a base hit, they're going to score. Tonight, Puig's at first. He hits a double. It short hops the right field wall. Puig scored from first. You can rack up a lot of RBIs with those guys on base.
Base hit to right by Gonzalez. He's 2 for 3.
But you still got to hit.
Yeah.
And he can hit.
That was one of Branch Rickey's old great sayings. Speed never slumps. And it hasn't for the Dodgers, at least not in this series, nor has Gonzalez, who, as we told you, red hot after the break. That's his 18th hit, 48 at bats. And he'll stand at first in front of Hanley Ramirez, who's equally cold. And he's 0 for 10 in the set. And has struck out twice tonight.
It's about the hardest hit ball off Tehran in about 3 innings.
Ball 1 to Ramirez. That's ripped foul at third. It's 1-1. The Dodgers will host the Cubs next. Chicago's on its way to Los Angeles. Cubs beat Colorado today 3-1. We'll make our way to San Diego and open a set there tomorrow night.
Well, Colorado's fallen on hard times. They're 2.5 games behind Arizona for 4th in the National League West. That was beginning play today. they lost, and Arizona's tied at home with the Pirates in the 6th.
The Mets were supposedly in on Tulowitzki and Cargo around the deadline. But nothing came of that. Still could after the deadline. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a fly ball to right. Two outs. Ramirez 0 for 11 against the Braves staff. And Carl Crawford's the hitter with 2 outs. Duran's done a good job on Carl. He struck him out in the 1st and got him to line out to lead off the 4th. Big swing and a miss.
It's a long way from home plate to the dugouts in this ballpark. It used to be even farther before they started encroaching in with some luxury seats. And that was a long walk back to the dugout after a strikeout. Not that I ever did, but I heard about it.
Line drive to right. And Domit's going to catch that.
2-out story beginning is a big mistake. I'll finish it in a minute.
The old Vin Scully rule.
Yeah.
Here's its head here in Los Angeles. Late, Dodgers 2, Braves nothing. Fans buy a Pay It Forward ticket pack and help support Children's Health Care of Atlanta. Each Pay It Forward package includes a game ticket, a Braves sweatshirt blanket, and a $5 donation to Children's Health Care of Atlanta. Enjoy a day at the ballpark and know that you've helped support children in the process. Go to Braves.com/payitforward now. Here in the 7th, Freeman, Upton, and Gaddis are coming up. You were telling a story before Carl Crawford didn't follow the script and lined out to end the inning.
Yeah, I've got to talk to Carl about that. No, I was looking at the retired numbers for the Dodgers that have been moved over by their stadium offices, and one of the numbers are number 19, Jim Gilliam. Such a great guy and was the first base coach for the Dodgers after a stellar career in Brooklyn and maybe a year or two here in LA. But he was talking about at the time college players and even some professional players who would strike out and jog back to the dugout, kind of hustle back. And he goes, I don't get that. I don't get these young fellows running back to the dugout after a strikeout. He said, man, I walked as slow as I could just in case the umpire changed his mind.
I like the thinking, yeah. But it was a long walk here, man.
Yeah.
Over the years, the Dodgers have done so much work to this ballpark to keep it fresh and vibrant and relevant. As Gordon to his left has a roll up the arm but makes the play. You can see we get a shot behind high home plate where all the new seats and new dugouts were added. You just go from the left field foul pole.
Yeah, this inside of that circle right there are all added on from original.
I can't imagine how great it must have been to pitch on a cool spring night with that much foul territory behind the plate.
Now, they've adjusted home plate accordingly too. They had to. It didn't affect the distances down the lines and measurements and all that stuff. But it's already right now a long way from home plate to the backstop for catchers to go get balls. But it was farther. It was a little farther back. So much so that, and I did it once against the Padres, and Bob Davis, I think, was a catcher. He just missed a fastball. It went to the screen, and I went first to third on a pass ball.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was a long way for them to go get it if they didn't get a bounce.
We were walking in the other day, and something else the Dodgers have done is they've kind of made the club level a walking museum. They've got seats from the renovations and pictures and old lockers and travel trunks and the like. One of the really neat things they have is a schematic architectural rendering of Dodger Stadium and the Chavez Ravine land topography as Upton swings and misses, and how this stadium nestles into this area. Well, part of that as well showed a drawing, an architectural drawing of how Dodger Stadium was to look on the day it opened. And there is one very noticeable feature absent in Dodger Stadium now. In center field, what is now the hitter's background, where that volume to 11 speaker tower stands, was a water feature, kind of like Kansas City. They apparently had fountains that would shoot geysers of water when the Dodgers would hit home runs.
That didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
Would have been nice to have that water feature instead of that volume to 11 speaker.
Gaddis pops up the first pitch, and Kershaw is rolling merrily along. He sends the game to the 7th inning stretch. He enjoys a 2-0 advantage as the Braves in danger of a sweep. Dodgers 2, Braves nothing. We are in the 7th inning stretch. Wait to hear Nancy B. at the organ here at Dodger Stadium. She's been a long-time fixture in this ballpark. Delightful lady.
Yeah, nice music.
Well, how about Julio Teheran tonight? Any other night, we'd be raving about his performance. So he would probably have a chance to be leading this game.
Hey, that's a soccer player. Isn't that David Beckham? You can get him a Braves cap.
Yeah, my wife just gave me the 2 thumbs up. Yeah, that's Beckham. Here's Matt Kemp. And he takes downstairs. Quieter night for Matt Kemp to this point. He has walked and struck out.
Both of these pitchers have 8 strikeouts now, and they both have used all their pitches. For Teheran, 3 of his 8 Ks on fastballs, 4 on curves, 1 on a slider. For Kershaw, 1 on the fastball, 2 on the slider, 3 on cutters, all to lefties, and 2 on a curveball.
You almost have to play a perfect game against Kershaw and the Dodgers if you're going to beat him the way he's rolling again. Last 10 starts, he's 9-0. He's leading tonight 2-0. He's given up 5 hits. The Braves had 2 consecutive innings in which they had 2 hits. But a costly overslide at second base retired B.J. Upton. Braves hit into a double play after getting the first 2 men on in the 5th as well. Now Kemp strokes one deep center. Upton on the run is going to get there. Step shy of the track. First hard hit ball of the game for Kemp. And he's out number 1 in the 7th.
Third baseman number 5, Juan Uribe.
And here's Uribe. Again, during this 9-0 stretch for Kershaw, his ERA is .94. He's not even allowing an earned run. He's allowed nothing tonight.
9-0 in his last 10. There you go. And just a 151 batting average against him.
So you can see why the Dodgers are rolling with the way Greinke pitched last night. Kershaw obviously on the run he's on, and Hyun-Jin Ryu, another double-digit winner for Los Angeles. There's a good chance we'll see all 3 of those guys back in Atlanta when we host the Dodgers for a 4-game set.
Yeah, Hyun-Jin Ryu is 12-5 with a 3.44 ERA. 105 strikeouts in 117 innings.
Julio took a lot off that pitch. It was his 99th. Teheran's been in the stretch once since the 2nd inning. And bounding ball foul. He has pitched a great game.
He let one slider get away from him to Puig on the homer. And they still had a shot to cut down Puig in the very first inning when he scored from first on that double to right.
The short hop relay throw.
Yeah.
So again, on a play that had to be perfect to get Puig, the Braves weren't, and the Dodgers cashed it in. There's out number 2. A.J. Ellis is the man in the catbird seat. He gets to catch all these Dodger starters, and Tom, this man's in an enviable position for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and he's lucky to be here. For a long time, the Dodgers didn't really believe in him, and he had to sit and wait in the minors while catcher after catcher was promoted in front of him. But it goes deeper than that. He's really lucky to be here. In fact, it goes back more than 100 years. His great-grandmother was coming to the United States from Hungary, and she had a ticket for a boat, but she missed her train out of Hungary, so therefore she missed her boat in 1912. The ship was named the Titanic.
That boat, Tom, was probably headed for Ellis Island.
The Titanic was going to dock at Chelsea Piers. What are the Chelsea Piers now in New York City? But would have gone right by it.
I thought maybe they just had some private property.
Never know.
That they were headed to.
2 balls, no strikes.
A very fortunate missed train. Well, he's done something right for Clayton Kershaw. He certainly helped steer his ship a little bit. The one thing you hear about no-hitters a lot, where guys walk a bunch of guys, had a lot of base runners, all that stuff, not for Kershaw. When he no-hit the Rockies, no walks, 15 strikeouts.
2 balls and a strike. And up the middle, Estella, good range. Can't get it out of his glove, but still able to get the catcher Ellis on a marvelous play. What a play by Tommy La Stella, ranging to the third base side of the second base bag. And right in front of Andrelton Simmons, he got Ellis to send this game to the 8th. As we promised you earlier tonight, we have our AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #SouthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. The Braves made the run to Runyon Canyon today.
That's a good place. I've done that. I did that with Meg one day.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good hike. I couldn't run it, but I bet they did.
Especially now.
Well, yeah, but I'll bet the girls just beat the tar out of that thing.
That was Adrian Midgley, our fine media relations representative, who's made the trip. She was in the middle of that photo. And that was a beautiful shot. 3 lovely ladies, and hope they had a good time today. Let's see if the Braves can give Kershaw and the Dodgers a finish tonight. Domit leads off the 8th, 2-0. Little fly ball. Gordon on the run. Can't get it. A leadoff hit for Domit. He's got 2 singles in the game.
That makes him 5 for 9 in his career against Clayton Kershaw. And again, a good start to the inning. Last night, the Braves couldn't get their leadoff man. Get him on base to save their life. Tonight they got him on 3 times. See if this one parlays into a run or 2. Hopefully 3.
No sign of a pinch runner for Ryan Domit, who stands at first for Andrelton Simmons. Andrelton's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Thinking about a homer, came up empty. Strike one.
Got a high fastball. Braves have 6 hits, 5 off fastballs tonight.
Little squibber out toward Gordon at second. He'll apply the tag. He'll throw to first in time. A double play.
Third double play of the night. Turn behind Kershaw. This is a tough one for Doman because he's trying to hustle down to potentially break up the double play at second, which he's already done tonight after the Dodgers were thinking about turning a triple play. But when D. Gordon stepped in front of him, that changed everything. Quick tag and throw. Good play by the Dodgers second baseman.
So now Phil Gosselin hits with the bases empty and 2 out. Gosselin got the first Braves hit. He was in the third. He's also struck out. And he bounces toward Uribe. Big hop. Long toss across in time. Kershaw ducked under. And he's knuckling under. 2-0 Los Angeles. Bottom of the 8th.
Telecast is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Clayton Kershaw is in command. He's allowed 6 hits, which for him is an awful lot, but he's gotten 3 double play balls, and he's gotten 2 early runs to play with, and he's in line to win his 10th game in his last 11 outings. Last 2 innings, he's thrown 13 pitches, and he's up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Over the last 6 years, he's one of 2 lefties with 80 or more wins and 1,100 or more strikeouts. That covers both leagues. Name the other lefty that's in that class with Kershaw.
I'm going to go Mark Burley.
Burley?
Yeah.
I'm going to go John Lester. He was traded today. I'll bet he's in the news. See if he's the man.
Deadline day.
John Lester.
Deadline day.
Who said, Joe, that he would be open to re-signing with the Red Sox. Think about how that deal could work out for Boston. They get Cespedes for a 2-month rental for John Lester, and if he signs back with Boston, they basically get Cespedes for free.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be quite a coup for the Sox if they can pull that off during the wintertime. Those 13 pitches the last 2 innings you mentioned for Kershaw, all strikes.
Well, we talked earlier tonight about the attendance bump that guys like Kershaw bring. They had 47,000 here last night. They had 49,000 in game one. Biggest crowd of the series tonight, 51,163. And the pitching matchup lived up to the billing. It's a shame anybody would have to be on the short end, but that's the fate of Julio Teheran tonight.
Julio gave up 2 hits in the first inning, gave up the homer in the third, and 1 hit since. And that was the single by Gonzalez in the 6th inning.
Look at that frisbee. Teheran caught Kershaw. And Julio has 9 strikeouts.
Second time tonight he struck him out on that big sweeping backdoor breaking ball, and each time Kershaw did the same thing. Like, that's pretty nice. I'll go to the dugout now.
This will be Julio's last inning. The pitcher spot is due first in the 9th. Then the top of the order for the Braves. Still a manageable game. But Atlanta has only 3 offensive outs left. To short, Simmons. Quick release. Got Gordon easily. 2 out. He's Knight 1 for 4. And here's Puig. Jaime and Shreve, lefty and righty, up in the Braves bullpen. The Braves, as you know, made the trade with the Cubs. Russell and Bonifacio are expected to join the team tomorrow in San Diego. The Braves do not have to make a corresponding roster move until they are placed on the roster. And we will, of course, update you on that in time for the ball game tomorrow.
First game of this series was an ugly game. Ugly baseball, slow, boring. Josh Beckett was in his 4 corners, offense or defense, trying not to throw the baseball. And a game that almost lasted 4 hours in its 8.5 innings. The last 2 nights have been great baseball. Unfortunately, the Braves came out on the short end in 10 innings last night, 3-2, and they're trailing tonight. But really well pitched games and good baseball.
Launch to center. Upton gives ground. That ball's over his head and off the center field fence. Puig is in at second. Whatever thumb trouble he had in his last at bat was not evident on that swing. He nearly drove one out to straightaway center.
I don't know what the scouting report is on him for the Braves, but they're going to have to readjust. That was a fastball, though. Beltai, I believe he thought he hit it out of here, but he hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. And again, they're low, laser-like line drives. And that one hit right at the base of the wall. Now 23 for 45 against Atlanta pitching with damage.
So a lefty up there for the Dodgers. It'll be Adrian Gonzalez. The Braves will pitch around him and go after Hanley Ramirez, who has struggled at the plate in the series. This will be the 3rd walk for Julio Teheran. And you can understand this strategy. Adrian's red hot at the plate, too. So 2 more, and the Dodgers will have them first and second with 2 outs. And the stage is yours, Hanley Ramirez.
Braves have the pinch hitter for the pitcher in the top of the order. They're only down 2. Get a couple of guys on for the heart of the order. Somebody might do some damage against Clayton Kershaw late again, as they've done before when he's pitched against the Braves. But to do that, you got to get Ramirez.
He's thrown 117 pitches. Very few of them have been stressful, however. He's got some stress pitches up ahead now. And Ramirez, first pitch swing, pops it up. Long run, Domet. He's still chugging in, and he gets there. And that retires the side. Last call for the Braves in the 9th inning. Julio Teheran pitched to Jim, but he's down 2 after 8.
Georgia Lottery, Toyota, and AT&T, mobilizing your world.
It's very simple in Los Angeles. The Braves have 3 outs to somehow manufacture a couple of runs against Clayton Kershaw. They'll have Gerald Laird in to pinch hit, then B.J. Upton, and then Tommy La Stella. Dodgers go to their bench as well. And on to play shortstop is Miguel Rojas. We've seen Rojas come in for Hanley Ramirez all series long. Kershaw's going out trying to finish the complete game shutout.
He's got 4 complete games. That already leads the National League. Going for number 5.
And ball 1 to pinch hitter Gerald Laird. Kershaw has 4 complete games, right?
Yes.
That's as many or more than every team in the National League but the St. Louis Cardinals. All by himself.
Well, if the score remains the same, Julio will get credit for a complete game. Not the kind you want. I think he'd be the second Braves pitcher to have a complete game loss. Alex Wood had another.
Roller foul at the plate. Put in perspective, Joe, they're taking away the Dodgers. There are 30 complete games by the rest of the teams in the National League. Kershaw's bidding for his 5th.
Yeah, he's had great stuff tonight. Don't get me wrong, but the Braves have put the ball in play. They've hit the ball sharply at times. Double plays have really done them in.
Bouncing ball to first. Gonzalez has it, takes it to the bag himself. Laird's retired, 4-out number 1. Through 8 1/3 innings, it's time for our Subway box score. Atlanta's had some chances, but hasn't pushed anything across yet.
They just couldn't get one through the hole. A double play in the 3rd, the 5th, and the 8th. Plus, he doesn't help the defense. The opposing team. He doesn't walk anybody, and no walks tonight to go with his 8 strikeouts.
B.J. Upton rolls 1 foul at the plate. Upton's 1 for 3 in the game. The Braves notes say the last time Atlanta was swept here in a 3-game series was September of 1989. Only 95 pitches for Kershaw. The 1-1. Here's a line drive to left field. B.J. Upton has a 2-hit game. And the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Tommy La Stella.
That's what they needed. They needed a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Slider or cutter, not sure. And B.J. in his wheelhouse, down and in.
7 hits for the Braves, the most allowed by Kershaw in a game since June 13th, when he gave up 8 hits to the Diamondbacks. And here we are again, Joe, with Kershaw, tight game, trying to finish off a complete game victory, but 1 pitch away from disaster. And the right guys are coming up to do it in the 9th. Broken bat, rolled foul at 3rd. Estella's cracked the bat twice tonight.
I thought that one had the third base chalk written all over it, but not so. Tommy hasn't hit a home run. He doesn't hit many home runs. Didn't hit many in the minor leagues. You don't expect him to somehow all of a sudden launch one here. But the way he's been swinging the bat, getting on base and bringing Freddie Freeman to the plate, representing the go-ahead run, would be mighty nice. Just no double play, please.
3 of those, more than enough. Out of play to the left, and LaStella late on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. All the off-speed stuff Kershaw throws, I'm guessing, Joe, gives him some extra octane for late innings.
Well, not just that, but he has quick innings. He's just now approaching 100 pitches, so I'm guessing he's not even fatigued.
LaStella is doing his thing. He fought off a tough pitch, stays alive, and 1-2.
Remember, 3 of his strikeouts against lefties have been on cutters. That might have been one there.
Excellent work.
Yeah, they've been working Tommy away all night long, and this is a good at bat to fight off those pitches. Look at that, 16 pitches in the first inning, his longest inning, and that was a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts.
Oh-2 pitch. Breaking ball off Gonzalez's glove and headed for the right field corner. The ball ricochets off the fence, and the Braves have runners at first and third with 1 out. What an at-bat by LaStella.
And what a tough break there, and the way that played out. Now, of course, Gonzalez could have caught the ball and turned it into a double play, and the game's over. Slow curve, and he hooked it right off the glove of Gonzalez, but then it rolled down and caromed off the fence back to Kemp. Otherwise, it gets down into that corner that's so hard to field. Otherwise, BJ might have scored all the way from first on this. Right there by the ball boy, it kicks back to Kemp. Tough break.
So LaStella will be taken down now for a pinch runner. Jordan Schaefer will come on and stand at first. The importance of that move is if Freeman could split a gap, you'd figure Schaefer would have a great chance to score from first and tie the game. And that is giving Kershaw a finish. First and third in the ninth.
As you say, we have seen this before in Turner Field, where the Braves have rallied in the ninth on Kershaw.
In the dirt. And now all of a sudden the Dodger bullpen begins to work.
I'm not sure that I'm not 100% positive that in every at bat to Freddie tonight he's thrown that slow curve, but it seems like he has. Freddie's 1 for 3 tonight, but early in the count he might be able to look for it and get something he can launch.
Had a good rip at that pitch, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Kershaw has not given up a home run to a left-handed hitter all year. 6 on the season, all to right-handers.
Tom Hart reports the last 2 Freeman homers have come on curveballs. Will Kershaw hang one here in the top of the ninth? 1 ball, 1 strike. Upton a single to left. LaStella a line drive off Gonzalez's glove for another 1-out hit. And Freddie behind now, a ball and 2 strikes.
Back-to-back 94-mile-an-hour fastballs, and Freeman had good swings at it. Good passes at both of them, but a little late.
League is up in the Dodger pen if needed. Kimbrel and Carpenter loosening for the Braves. If Atlanta ties it, we'll see who Freddie calls on. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Jordan playing it pretty safe over there, as he should, after getting picked off last night at second base in the 10th inning.
Ellis smothered that. Kershaw pitching Freeman very carefully, as you'd expect. Freeman with a home run in this series.
Everything away to La Stella. Then he threw a curveball that he could tomahawk. Everything's been away to Freddie. Target moving away again.
And Freeman, watch that one dance low. Full count.
Breaking ball might have been a cutter. Again, it's his cutter and slider a little hard to tell apart. I would not send the runner here. If Freddie does strike out, you still have Justin coming up representing the tying run.
He doesn't go, and Freeman swung and missed. That might be the biggest pitch of the night for Kershaw. On a 3-2 pitch, he struck out Freeman.
First pitch inside in the sequence.
Well, Justin Upton saved the Braves late last night. A home run in the 9th tied it at 2. Can Justin do something magical tonight? He's 3 for 37 against Kershaw, including 0 for 3 tonight. Slow roller toward Uribe at third. He's got to hurry. Gloves, guns, and safe! A run is in. Upton beat it out at first, and the Braves are on the board, pending an argument from Don Mattingly.
Remember, that was Jerry Lane's post earlier in the game. He had to come out of the game, the umpire, with a strained calf. Mike Estabrook is over there. They've been working with a 3-man crew. Hard to tell on that one.
And that might be what saves the Braves. Has to be clear and convincing evidence to overturn the call on the field. The call on the field was safe. If that call is upheld, Upton will have an infield hit and an RBI, and the Braves will pull to within a run. And they'll have Evan Gattis coming to the batter's box. If the call is overturned, the game is over. And this is, I imagine, baseball's biggest fear. Imagine this Game 7 of a World Series. And this is the final play.
A lot of fans watching the play here thought he was out. I don't know about that. I have to think that that's not convincing enough to overturn. I'm going to call him safe, as Estabrook did.
This one might take a while. In fact, we had a 6-minute review earlier tonight in the big leagues. Miami and Cincinnati on a play at the plate. It went against the Marlins, and they ended up losing their ball game.
Good hustle by Justin. The only reason that was even a close play. I don't know you can overturn it with it being the last out of the game on the line. It was too close.
So think about the emotional roller coaster that Kershaw has to go through now. He thinks the game should be over. If it's not, he's got a 1-run lead, and Gattis up, and he's got to readjust the adrenaline to try to finish things off in the 9th. Finally, Kershaw got out of his catcher's crouch and will climb back to the top of the mound and take a few warm-up tosses. We looked at it 3-4 times. the result inconclusive.
Yes, it wasn't convincing that he was out. So how can you call him out? I think he's got to be. I think that call's got to be upheld.
And in defense of the umpires, bang bang play. We've looked at it 4 times, and the call on the field is he's safe. It's upheld, infield hit. So the game lives on. Upton with his 63rd RBI brings home B.J. Upton. And that's the 3rd hit of the inning for the Braves. And now Kershaw has to face Evan Gattis with the game on the line now with 2 on and 2 out.
And Evan has a base hit tonight. In fact, he has put the ball in play 3 times. This guy's come through some huge clutch hits for the Braves from the 7th inning on. Beginning last year, his rookie year, and into this season. I like the matchup. I like Evans' chances here.
And you got a man who can fly at second base representing the tying run. So Kershaw delivers, and Gattis was all over it.
Oh, sure was. Good swing. Four-seamer. Just under it a little bit. He tried to pull his hands to get the barrel to it, and as a result, the barrel dropped just a little bit, and it was a foul tip instead of a rope.
No balls and a strike.
A lot of pressure on the defense to make a play, just as there was a minute ago. Carl Crawford very shallow in left. If it's a sharp base hit to left field, Crawford doesn't have a real good arm, but Schaefer might have a problem if it's a base hit out there. Like to find out.
Crowd on its feet in L.A. for Gattis and Kershaw. Bouncing ball to short. The flip to second ends the ball game. Kershaw doesn't get the shutout, but he does go the distance. He hangs on to beat the Braves by a final of 2-1 tonight. He scattered 9 hits, and the Braves are swept in this 3-game series. They'll remain a game and a half behind Washington in the East, and Atlanta makes its way down to San Diego, where we'll start a series tomorrow night. Plenty to talk about from Dodger Stadium when we come right back.